And I want to thank everybody for joining in our second Shira B'Tzibur. We're very excited. We had such a great time a few weeks ago when we did this the first time. For those of you who are joining us by a show of hands, who was here for the first time that we did this? Well, glad to have many of you back. And please, any comments or concerns or suggestions are very much welcome. You can reach me at any time at josh@myisraelimusic.com. So everybody, welcome. My name is Josh Schroen. I'm here and I'm welcoming our co-host Shirley Cohn. Why is this not working? First time. I am having issues here. Okay, we'll figure that out. It's so great to be with all of you. And Shirley and Julie are back. They did such a good time for us, such a good job for us the first time around. And so many of you are here, and we're so grateful. For those of you who are new to this, we're going to keep you all muted for the majority of this meeting. Now, we're not doing that because we don't want to hear your voice. We really would love to hear your voice, but the limitations of Zoom technology make it so that if we all sang together on Zoom at the same time, it would sound pretty horrible. So the way it's going to work is that we're all going to remain muted. Shirley and Julie, who are our hosts and our teachers, are going to sing for us and play for us, and we will all be able to sing along to our heart's content. And we have the chance to sing like nobody's listening, and it's a great, great thing. So please sing loud and sing proud, and nobody else can hear you, so you don't have to worry how good or bad you sound. I want to remind everybody that if you enjoy what we do, if you enjoy our podcast, our programming, our social media, our website, then it would be very, very much appreciated if you would go to become a member of our radio show, our website, our podcast. Go to myisraelimusic.com/membership to help us out. That's myisraelimusic.com/membership. Let's get the show on the road. It's my pleasure to once again welcome Shirley Cohn and her daughter Julie Cohn. And the two of them once again will be playing and singing for us. Shirley came up with some great, great songs for today in honor of spring and the holidays that come with it. And a lot going on the Jewish calendar this time of year. And Shirley is an amazing music teacher, Jewish educator, musician from the Philadelphia area. We're so fortunate to have Shirley and Julie, and we'll turn things over to you guys. The floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for coming. We're really happy to see you. Before we get to the song slides, I'd like to just do a quick little warm up. So you can relax all you want during the session, but for now I'd like you to try to sit up straight if you're planning on singing. And I have a simple warm up. We're going to go up the scale. We're going to say Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah na. And it goes like this. Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah na. 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 And here's how I end it. Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah. All right, we'll try the whole business again. Kind of gets your mouth moving, and it's a nice open vowel, ah vowel. Let's try it again. Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah na. 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 Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah. Good, I saw some mouths moving, so that's good. So you can sit up and sing with us, you can relax, whatever you feel comfortable doing. The songs that we chose for today are spring songs. Now, we're celebrating Israel Independence Day next month, so we're going to hold those songs off for then. But for now, we have some songs that go along with spring, and Passover's coming, and a couple of other holidays that we'll touch upon. So Josh, if you would like to start with the slides. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I know that there are people here with various levels of experience with Israeli music, so I'm going to try to explain things as well as I can, but if there's something you're not familiar with, feel free to ask. All right, our first song is called Simcha Rabbah, Great Joy, and this is like the classic Passover song in Israel. Now, it's not a religious song in nature, but it describes spring and it describes a couple of elements of the Seder. It's mostly written for kids, but it's the kind of thing I like to use this example. If you're in the grocery store listening to the radio around November, December in the United States, and you'll hear jingle bells, come and buy our stuff. And then, like, it's sponsored by ShopRite or whatever grocery store. It's like they're taking the seasonal melodies and they're kind of, getting you to focus on come into the store, but also, reminding you why you're coming into the store. So if you listen to the radio around a little bit before Passover time, you're likely to hear this melody, but then it'll be sponsored by, Electronic Warehouse or this supermarket or that supermarket. So here we go, Simcha Rabbah. Some of you may know this. And by the way, another thing I'd like to throw in, so this is basically folk music. Folk music means music of a people or music of a country. Quite often folk is passed down from generation to generation, but a lot of these songs also kind of cross the bridge into popular music, and they were written by somebody and there are written notes. And so there's kind of a accurate way to sing them based on how they were originally written, but also because they're sort of folky, they kind of morph. So if you learned one of these songs or two or three of these songs a little bit differently from how I sing it, you're not necessarily wrong. I just try to go with like the most commonly accepted or the one that's truest to the original recording or the original sheet music or whatever. So however you sing it is fine.
Just one quick note before you start. We have all the lyrics on the screen in Hebrew, English, and transliteration. You might need to move everyone's faces over to one side of the screen or another in order to see everything you need to see. So we apologize for that, but we'll hopefully you should be able to see everything you need to see to sing along loud and clear.
All right. Ready? Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. Taferu li begerim kisim mileu kisai begozim. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. Sha'ol eshal arba kushiyot shato eshte arba kosot. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. V'kos gdola imitavi le'Eliyahu hanavi. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. Simcha Rabbah, Aviv Higia Pesach Ba. I'm sure you all sounded great. Yeah? Of course you did. I just want to remind you with the slides, because of the Zoom lag, sometimes we're ready for the next verse before the slide switches. So we're going to do our best to kind of have a song sheet. And if we like hesitate a little bit, it's just because we're waiting for the slides. And, nothing's perfect on Zoom, but we're doing a pretty darn good job. All right. V'nomar lefanav. Let's sing to God a new song. This song is in the Seder, in the middle of the first part where we've talked about the Exodus from Egypt, and we're ready to say, yay, God. So it says here, let's sing a new song before God. Like, we feel renewed, and we're going to sing lots and lots of songs of praise. And after this is the Hallel, which has psalms that start with hallelujah and that have the word hallelujah in them. So this is a nice, simple song that we love to sing with you. Waiting for the slide. ונאמר לפניו שירה חדשה, ונאמר לפניו שירה חדשה, ונאמר לפניו So our Seder's over, and we're moving on to a couple of songs by that come from the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim, Song of Solomon, whatever, however you'd like to refer to that book in the Bible. And the Song of Songs, it's a beautiful collection of prose, and it talks about romantic themes, but it also talks a lot about spring in Israel and the flowers and the animals and geography and topography. There's a lot in there if you take a look through the book. It's really cool. A lot of love, but also a lot of nature. And we read it on Shabbat in the synagogue during the holiday of Passover. So if you attend synagogue on that Shabbat and your synagogue reads it, take a good look because it's really beautifully written. Some of the early songwriting pioneers and the revivers of Jewish and Hebrew music in Israel in the early to mid 20th century, a lot of them were secular, but they had a pretty good foundation in Bible, and they went to the Bible and to books like the Song of Songs to get lyrics for their new music, and they created folk songs and folk dances. And, you know, although they were secular, the early pioneers, the early settlers in Israel really had a strong connection to nature and to the land. And so it makes a lot of sense that they would be pulling from this book in the Bible. And also just the fact that it talks about how spring is coming and it's spring and it's Passover. It's very, very fitting. So this song here, Kol Dodi, the voice of my beloved, the song was written by a woman named Sarah Levi Tanai. She was one of the earliest songwriters in modern Israel. She wrote loads and loads of children's songs, very, very talented. And Julie and I absolutely fell in love with this song. I actually didn't know it until last year. Like, I knew it existed.
That wasn't this one.
What's that?
It was the other one.
Oh, I'm sorry, the other one. Never mind. Kol Dodi. Wrong song, sorry. Thank you. Alrighty, Kol Dodi. So the voice of my beloved. Sorry about that. That's for the next one. Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, hine ze ba. Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, hine ze ba. Metaleg al ההרים, מקפץ על הגבעות. Metaleg al ההרים, מקפץ על הגבעות. One more time. Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, hine ze ba. Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, Kol Dodi, hine ze ba. מדלג על ההרים, מקפץ על הגבעות. מדלג על ההרים, מקפץ על הגבעות. Sorry, I did know that one. There's an Israeli folk dance to this, and it's kind of a happy kind of dance that sort of illustrates the lyrics. This is the one, Ana Pana Dodech, that we just totally fell in love with. I knew that this song existed, but I never really heard it. But it's just such a joyful song. The melody was written by Gil Aldema. If you've ever sung in a choir, I know Lynn is here, and I'm not sure who else. You've probably sung one of his arrangements. Composer and arranger. Active into, I think, maybe the 1980s or 90s. Just a really talented guy. And he wrote this one, and Julie and I we really wanted to learn it, and it's a little bit tricky. I don't know how many of you know this one, but we're gonna find out. Is that a good key for you?
We were singing an E and F yesterday.
How about that one? Okay. Ana pana dodech hayafa banashim. Ana pana dodech unvakshenu imach. Ana pana dodech hayafa banashim. Ana pana dodech unvakshenu imach. Dodi yara ligano, yara ligano, la rugoto bosem. Dodi yara ligano, yara ligano, la rugoto bosem. Back to the beginning. Ana pana dodech hayafa banashim. Ana pana dodech unvakshenu imach. Ana pana dodech hayafa banashim. Ana pana dodech unvakshenu imach. Dodi yara ligano, yara ligano, la rugoto bosem. yara legano, arukota bossem. There are a couple of really beautiful videos of that song floating around on YouTube. There's the classic recording, then there's one that's by a woman named Liron Miuchas, and it's just so all these colorful people dressed in colorful clothing and singing and dancing, and there's actually an Italian translation that she sings, so it's really, really nice. And Michelle sang that 50 years ago. That's cool. All right, Dodi Li, I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. Again, another one taken from Song of Songs. This one, I think sometimes people use this, play this at weddings. I don't know, I think the wedding music has been really updated in the last few years, but this was one of those classic, this one and a song called Erev Shoshanim, Evening of Roses, that people would play. Very, very romantic. Alrighty, let's have a look at the song. Is that a good key for you? You know, it might be a little high for the folks.
Okay.
Let's try it. Okay. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Mi zot olam min hamidbar, mi zot olam. Bekuteret moru levona, moru levona. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Libertini achoti kala, libertini kala, libertini achoti kala, libertini kala. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Buri tzafon uvo iteman. Buri tzafon uvo iteman. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. All right, you know what? Let's pull down the slides for a second and just see how everybody's doing. See who still dared to have their screen on here. All right, we're looking good.
If you're having a good time,
something-
say so in the chat. Let everybody know. Some of you are having a blast. I'm glad you are, and thank you again. Shirley, continue.
The next song here, so my excuse for putting it in the mix is that, well, there's two excuses really. So let's say you've had your Seder, you stayed up half the night singing songs, and you're so keyed up that you can't fall asleep, so you need a lullaby. So I thought, okay, I'll bring in a lullaby. And this one happens to have been written 75 years ago last month. So we're celebrating Israel's 75th birthday next month, and then last month we're celebrating the birthday of this song. It's called Laila Laila. And it's not your traditional kind of melody lullaby. First of all, it was written by Natan Alterman, who was a very famous Israeli poet, playwright, journalist, very influential in politics. Kind of cool that the literary folks were very influential in politics and in the social scene back in the 30s, 40s, 50s in Israel. Interesting, really, how integral the arts were to society in Israel. So he wrote these lyrics for a show that was a stage show that was first performed in 1948, like right around the start of the War of Independence. And it's not one of those, go to sleep, honey, everything's fine, rest in peace. No, no, no. It's go to sleep. It's night, fall asleep. The wind's in the treetops. And by the way, there are 3 armed robbers coming for you. Right? That's really comforting, but no, it's not. But okay, so the first guy, the first robber, it says teref, like the word treif, like torn, got torn up. The English translation that I saw somewhere is prey, Prey, like somebody got him, okay? And the second one, he died by the sword, so somebody stabbed him. Very violent. And then the third guy, well, you know what? He forgot your name, so it's okay. And then the name of the show, let me see if I wrote it down. I did not, but you know what? If you Google it, Lila in Hebrew, in the Hebrew letters, or if you can't find it, just message me and I'll give it to you. There's actually a Wikipedia article about this song. And again, this shows how integral music and the arts are to the country of Israel, that there are many, many songs that have their own Wikipedia article, or in Hebrew they say Wikipedia. And if you can figure out how to look them up in Hebrew, or feel free to ask me because I love doing this, you can read the story of the song. So Lynn, I don't have the name of the show because I figured nobody would ask, but somebody did. So many, many, many people recorded this. My favorite recording was done by Harry Belafonte. He does a beautiful job. His pronunciation is just incredible. So they spell it Lyla. Do you want to type that in? This is, if you ever want to look that up, he spells it Lyla. Or even if you put something similar to that, and then you put Harry Belafonte, you'll come up with one of 2 versions of the same recording. And he just does a gorgeous job. I'm not Harry Belafonte, but I'll sing it with you. Does anybody know this? Just, can you throw it in the chat? Does anybody know this one? Okay, good. So I won't be singing by myself. You get to drown me out. Okay, because Julie doesn't know it. All right, good. That's good. All righty. All right, so watch the English, and you'll see the gory, but the gory story that has a good ending. Okay. Lila, Lila, haruach overet. Lila, Lila, homa tzameret. Lila, Lila, kochav mezamer. Numi, Numi, kabi et haner. Numi, Numi, kabi et haner. Lila, Lila, Numi, Numi, kabi et haner. And again, I know some of the recordings have different rhythms. You're not wrong. Lila, Lila, itzmi et einayich. Lila, Lila, b'derech elayich. Lila, Lila, rachvu chamushim. Numi, Numi, shlosha parashim. Numi, Numi, shlosha parashim. Lila, Lila, Numi, Numi, shlosha parashim. Those 3 nights, K-N-I-G-H-T-S, is really 3 robbers. Sorry about that. Josh, did you change the English?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Okay. Lila, Lila, echad haya teref. Lila, Lila, sheni met b'cheref. Lila, Lila, v'zeh shenotar. Numi, Numi, et shmech lo zachar. Numi, Numi, et shmech lo zachar. Lila, Lila, Numi, Numi, et shmech lo zachar. And now we have our happy, relatively happy ending. Lila, Lila, הרוח גוברת, לילה לילה, חומת צמרת, לילה לילה, רק את מחכה. נומי נומי, הדרך ריקה, נומי נומי, הדרך ריקה. לילה, לילה, נומי נומי, הדרך ריקה. Wow, so this was on a Jewish lullaby CD? That's great. There's actually another one called Numi Numi, and that's a more classic Israeli lullaby. We're gonna include it, and we kind of left it out. But Numi Numi means fall asleep, fall asleep. So, all right, we're moving on to Holocaust Memorial Day, Yom HaShoah, and this song is called Halicha LeKeisaria, or A Walk to Caesarea. The lyrics of this song were written by Chana Senesh. Chana Senesh was a brave young Hungarian/Israeli woman. She was an Israeli national hero, and I'll tell you why. She was born in Hungary to kind of a secular Jewish family. They didn't really engage much in religious practice, and it was in the time when the Nazis were rising in power. And Hannah was a really talented writer, and when she got to high school, she wanted to join the Literary Society. And they said, I'm sorry, no, you can't join because you're Jewish. And instead of getting upset and, being kind of angry about, gosh, what's this religious label doing to me, she just said, you know what? Okay, I'm Jewish. I'm going to find out about it. And she started learning about Judaism and Zionism. And after she graduated from high school, she emigrated to Israel. She went to agricultural school. And she was working in Israel. And when the war started, when the Second World War started, they were asking for volunteers to parachute behind enemy lines to try to save the Jews of Hungary. And so Chana decided, and she was, I think, maybe about 21 at the time, early 20s, she decided she was going to learn to be a paratrooper, and she was going to parachute behind enemy lines. So she parachuted into Yugoslavia, and she was going to sneak over into Hungary, and she got caught. And they imprisoned her and they tortured her, and she was incredibly brave, and she said, no, I'm not giving up any information, I'm not giving up secrets. And they said, well, we're going to harm your mother. And she said, you know what, I can't do it. And she was in prison, and she was trying to keep up the morale of the other prisoners and like tapping out like Morse code and whatever, and just trying to be optimistic and trying to encourage everyone. And finally they took her to trial, and of course she lost, and she was convicted, and she was executed. But her writings remained, and David, or Dudu Zahavi, set one of her poems to music. And this describes, she was walking on the beach at night at Caesarea, at Caesarea, and she saw the lightning and heard the thunder and the crash of the waves, and she wrote a poem that was almost prayer-like. This song is not easy to sing because it's sort of low and then it goes sort of high. So at one end or the other, you might have a little trouble, but let's do our best. So we're going to sing it in Hebrew first, and then after we sing the Hebrew, there's actually a singable English version. Does this key work for you? Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם, החול והים, רישור של המים, ורק השמיים, תפילת האדם, החול והים, רישור של המים, ורק השמיים, תפילת האדם. Let's do it in Hebrew again. Eli, Eli, שלא ייגמר לעולם, החול והים, shel hamayim berak hashamayim tfilat adam hachol v'hayam rishu shel hamayim berak hashamayim tfilat adam. And we're going to move on to the English. Oh Lord, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the water, the thunder of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the water, the thunder of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. And if anyone is interested, I know a video where David Broza does an absolutely beautiful job with that song. He was performing in 1990 something or other at the amphitheater at Caesarea, at Caesarea, and he kind of threw that into his show near the end, and it was really, really nice. All right, Dona Dona. This song was written for Yiddish theater, so the original language of composition was Yiddish. It was written for a production that premiered around 1940. And these words, Dona Dona, they're kind of nonsense words, but I looked it up again. There's an English Wikipedia article about this, and they're saying that from Polish, if they said Dana Dana, it was kind of like giddy up, giddy up. And the song describes a calf that's on a wagon, and a guy's farmer is, riding his wagon, and it's probably a horse-drawn carriage. And so maybe this Dana Dana morphed into Dona Dona. So it was written in Yiddish. It was translated into Hebrew in about 1962. And since this is a session about Israeli music, we will sing the Hebrew afterwards. This song is often sung for Holocaust Memorial Yom HaShoah because it's this poor calf, and he's been kind of being led off to slaughter. And in the end, the message is, if you want your freedom, you've got to learn to fly. You've got to, fight back and earn your freedom. It was recorded in 1960 by Joan Baez, and it became really, really popular in America, and many, many American folk singers recorded it. And I learned it at summer camp, singing around the campfire. Maybe some of you also had that kind of experience. All right, we're going to make it a lot lower than that. Is that okay for you? All right. On a wagon bound for market, there's a calf with a mournful eye. High above him there's a swallow winging swiftly through the sky. How the winds are laughing, they laugh with all their might. Laugh and laugh the whole day through, and half a summer's night. Dona, 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 dona. Stop complaining, said the farmer. Who told you a calf to be? Why don't you have wings to fly with, like the swallow so proud and free? How the winds are laughing, they laugh with all their might. Laugh and laugh the whole day through, and half the summer's night. Dona, 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 don. Calves are easily bound and slaughtered, never knowing the reason why. But whoever treasures freedom, like the swallow has learned to fly. How the winds are laughing, they laugh with all their might. Laugh and laugh the whole day through and have the summer's night. Dona, 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 dona. Dona, 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 don. Dona, 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 dona. Dona, 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 don. Wow, we have people who know it in 3 languages. 3 languages? That's cool. All right, we're gonna take a try at the Hebrew. Egerach ashur b'chevel al ha'agala mutal ulemala b'shamayim eflonim Arielal. ועכשיו צוחק לו, צוחק ומתעולל. צחוק וצחוק מבוקר ועד חצי הלילה. דונה, 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 דונה. דונה, 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 דונה. Dona, 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 dona. Dona, 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 dona. Oh, Lynn, you've been holding out on us. You had a guitar. You were in a guitar group. Uh-oh, we're gonna tap you for something, aren't we? All right, we're at our final song. Can I see the gallery for a minute? Just because I don't know who's here, because most of you, what I see is slides here. I'm just so glad that you all could come. Really, thank you so much. Our final song is called Hora Medura, the campfire Hora. We have a holiday that's in between Passover and Shavuot called Lag BaOmer. You can look it up on Wikipedia. And one of the customs for Lag BaOmer is people have bonfires, campfires. Mostly in Israel they do this, although I think Americans can do this as well. And one of the traditional songs, and again, it's not a religious song. You can really sing it at any campfire. But one of the traditional songs that they sing on Lag BaOmer at the campfires is the campfire Hora, Hora Medura. And in Israel, like, I think they toast marshmallows in this day and age, but the traditional thing to cook in a campfire in Israel was always roasted potatoes, maybe because they were cheap. And back when this song was written in 1934, a lot of these pioneers, these new settlers in Israel, didn't have a lot of money, and they were living out in the boondocks, and they couldn't just go to the store and grab marshmallows. So they would wrap the potatoes in the aluminum foil and stick them in the fire and bake them. There's a lot of humor in Israeli music and a lot of kind of poking fun at Israeli society and Israeli people. And this is one of the earlier examples of Israelis poking fun at themselves. It's a song about we were poor yesterday and here we've come to Israel and now we have millions of tomorrows. And let's sing and dance a song about austerity and being poor and let's celebrate. And there's this whole romantic idea of the pioneers. They came and they were in the middle of the desert and they were, building settlements and living in tents and tin huts and clearing the fields of the rocks and the sand and planting the farms and planting trees and everything. And instead of going home and saying, boy, I'm exhausted, they would rest a little bit and then sing and dance around the campfire at night. And so that's where this song comes from. And there's an Israeli dance to this song. And unlike a lot of Israeli dances where you're just kind of holding hands regularly, you put your palms together for the first section of the dance. And you see this whole circle of palms, and it kind of looks like the flame of the flames of the campfire. And then in the second part of the dance, you go up and down and up, and you kind of raise your fists. And again, you're kind of acting out the fire. So we're going to sing this in Hebrew. I know a lot of people know the dance. Maybe not everybody has sung it before. So here's your chance. And again, the lyrics are written by Natan Alterman, and the guy who wrote the melody was very, very instrumental, no pun intended, in the development of the new Israeli folk music. And those people who, some of them were born in Israel, but many of them emigrated from Eastern Europe, and they just were so thrilled about being able to create their own musical culture and their own dances. And it was just such a prolific period in Israeli history. All right, how's that key? You think it's okay? Okay. באנו בלי כל וחול, אנו יהיה אתמול, לנו הגורל מסר, את מיליוני המחל, שינה למעגל, תן נשיר מזמור לדל, הנה אספו לרקוד, פני העוני והשוט, הורה עלי עלי, אש הדליקי בלילית, הורה רבה תורה, הורה מדורה. Hora Ali Ali, Esh Adiki Beleli, Torah Rabatora, Hora Mitzvah. Let's do the Hebrew again. Banu bli kol vachol, anu ye'etmol, anu hagoral masar, et milyonei hamachar, tzena lama'agal, ten nashir mizmor ladal, hine ne'esfu lirkod, bnei ha'oni ve'ashod, Hora Ali Ali, Esh Adiki Beleli, Torah Rabatora, Hora Mitzvah. Hora Ali Ali, Esh Adiki Beleli, Torah Rabatora, Hora Mitzvah. I wanted to teach this song to my students, elementary, middle school students, and I knew they would never master the Hebrew in the amount of time that we had. And so Julie and I got together and we wrote a singable English version, and it basically kind of describes the scenario in which the song was written. We've come to build our land, clear away the rocks and sand, plant gardens, crops and trees, swaying in the desert breeze. Work hard the whole day long, and the nights we fill with song. Come join us hand in hand, let's rebuild our holy land. Hora Ali Ali, dance around the fire with me. We sing so joyfully, Hora Mitzvah. Hora Ali Ali, dance around the fire with me. We sing so joyfully, Hora Mitzvah. And that's it. Thank you so much. But don't go away.
Thank you so much, Shirley and Julie. You guys were wonderful as always. Feel free, if you had a good time, say so in the chat. And we're going to unmute in just a moment for everybody to have the chance to express their thoughts and their appreciation and to say hello to each other. Once again, if you like this program, if you enjoy the programming that we offer, please go to myisraelimusic.com/membership. It's the best way to show your appreciation for everything we do at Israel Hour Radio. I want to let you all know that we're going to be doing this again in honor of Yom Ha'atzmaut, and the date we're working with is April 30th. We will definitely get you more information as we get closer. It's a big anniversary this year, Israel's 75th, and you can be sure that we're going to have a great time singing the praises, literally, of Eretz Yisrael shortly after Yom Ha'atzmaut. So save the date for, I think it's Sunday, April 30th, and we will make sure to get you more information. Stay tuned to our email messages and our social media messages, and of course our podcast and our website for more information.